over to you.
Thank you, Howard, and it's really good to be here this morning. I will get my screen.
Hopefully people can see that.
So good morning, everybody. Is that all right, Howard? Can you see the screen?
Perfect. Well done.
Brilliant. That's the first step then to the well-being from our perspective.
I'm going to leave you to it now.
Thank you. So as Howard said, I'm Sally Rosser. I'm going to begin the presentation this morning really just by taking you through some of the specifics about how we at Rugby School are set up to look after your children and to work with you and them to make sure that their well-being is all that it can be. We know that happy children make the best learners, and from the academic perspective, everything that we do is geared to making them be the best that they can be and achieve the best that they can achieve. So I'm going to start, as I say, by taking you through a little bit about Rugby School, and then Lisa is going to speak specifically about that well-being journey. So Rugby School is located in a West Midlands market town, very well situated right in the centre of England for international airports, about 50 minutes on the train from London, and very good accessibility to Heathrow Airport, Gatwick Airport and Birmingham Airport. The school was established, like many big independent schools, many years ago, 1567. Lawrence Sheriff died, and on his bequest established a school for local boys. In the 19th century, the school moved from the centre of town onto the Lord of the Manor's site. The school has grown up on the south side, and the town has grown up around us. We first took our sixth form girls in the 1970s, and in 1993 we became fully co-educational. So we have been doing, if you like, co-education with boys and girls for a long time now. So we currently have 840 pupils on roll with an equal split between boys and girls, and even with coronavirus and all the difficulties that that has caused, we are expecting around 830 pupils to actually be here in school next week, and the other 10 or so to be joining us in the next few weeks as flights allow. 640 of them are full boarders, and we absolutely pride ourselves here at Rugby School on being a full boarding school. I would advise you as parents, when you are looking at full boarding schools, particularly from the international perspective, to really make sure that the schools that you are looking at are full boarding. All of our boys and girls are here 7 days a week if they are boarders. We have a full programme of lessons on a Saturday morning with sports activities in the afternoon, a social programme in the evening. We have chapel for the whole school on Sunday, and nobody goes home except the 200 day pupils that we also have. So the day pupils come in for 7 days a week, but they don't sleep here. 18% of our cohort are international students, and they come from literally all parts of the world. Just out of interest, we have a house at the moment that's set up. Term doesn't actually begin here until tomorrow, but we have 57 international students who have been here quarantining with us for the last couple of weeks, and it's been an absolute joy to be working with them. I will talk a little bit about our house setup, absolutely integral to supporting every young person here at Rugby School, absolutely integral to their well-being. The houses are small units, about 50 children per house, with 10 in each year group. So when you do visit a boarding school or you're doing your research, do look at what the structure is like in the boarding houses. Here at Rugby, 10 children in each year group. Each house has each year group from 13 to 18-year-olds, and we think that is a really good mix and a healthy way to be. Around 140 pupils join us in year 9 at 13 plus, with a cohort also joining us in year 12 into the sixth form. And we're very excited that in 2021 we will be introducing the International Baccalaureate.
Alongside A-levels.
Alongside A-levels, thank you, Lisa. This is why we're presenting together. So we have 15 houses here at Rugby School. We have 8 girls' houses and 7 boys' houses. The reason we have 8 girls' houses is because we have a specifically sixth form girls' house. We still find that an awful lot of girls are wanting to join us for the sixth form. They may have been at girls' day schools here in the UK, or they may have been at girls' boarding schools and want to come for a co-educational sixth form. Each of the boarding houses has 3 resident staff. There's a housemaster or a house mistress. They are well supported by a matron. The matron looks after the domestic running of the house and the health and welfare of the boys and girls. And there's also a deputy housemaster or house mistress living in the house too. They get to know the children particularly well. On top of that, we have a team of tutors attached to each boarding house and the day houses, but each boarding house. Every member of staff, apart from the headmaster, is a tutor in a boarding house. And as a tutor, I will get to know my tutor group really, really well. And we feel it's very, very important that every boy and girl, whether they're at Rugby School or any school, is known and really well known by at least one person. Inevitably, they'll be really well known by many more, but the tutor is that person who does get to know their tutees really, really well. So the houses, as I've mentioned, are set up really as family units. What you can see here is a photograph of a lunch in a girls' boarding house. Lunch is a more formal affair. Everybody is in uniform. You can see that there are some adults eating with the house. The resident house staff eat 3 meals a day with their houses. So they will have breakfast, they will have lunch, and they will have supper with their boarding house. And again, it really means that they are getting to see these young people. They're getting to know them as they walk into the dining room. They can see what their mood is like. They can watch what they're eating. They can see whether they've had a good night's sleep. They can just sit and have informal chats. Lunch is a more formal affair. As members of staff, we go round to the houses and we'll eat with the boys and girls as well. Breakfast and supper are much more informal affairs. All of the laundry is also done in the boarding houses. So it really is like a home from home.
By the laundry ladies.
By the laundry ladies. And the houses have a real sense of community. And as we heard Jennifer saying at the end of her presentation earlier, you know, when you visit any of our schools, you know, you will really get a feel as soon as you walk in. This is Bradley House. As soon as you walk through the door at Bradley House, you'll get a real sense of what Bradley House is like. And that's very, very important for you as parents. This is not my quote here. This is from the Good Schools Guide recently. And this is Kilbracken House, one of the boys' houses, having fun in the garden. But I hope you would find, if you came to Rugby, that there really is a sense of community, that pupils are welcoming. They are very, very used to having adults around them. It is true to say that when the young people first come at 13, it takes them a little bit of time to get used to us, putting them to bed, always being with them, asking them how they are. But they very soon get familiar with that. And I think you as parents, when you come, would be invited to come and have lunch in one of our boarding houses, to come and meet the young people. And I hope you would be saying what the Good School Guide is also saying. Settling in, so our term, as I say, begins tomorrow. So our new children at 13 plus and our new sixth form will be coming. For the 13 plus children, we have a full week this week of induction, where they are introduced to the teachers who are going to teach them, to the tutors who are going to be working with them. They will meet their year group, or have met their year group already in June. This year, really strangely, and it is really strange because Lisa and I are both people persons. This year we had a virtual New Pupil Day, but just like we are doing here, we're able to introduce them to each other. So they've already got to know each other a little bit from June. As parents, we feel it's really important that you get to know as quickly as possible the parents of the other children that your young people will be living with. We have an activities weekend specifically for the 13 plus children, and that's in 4 weeks' time, where they will be living together as a year group for a weekend. Normally we'd be taking them off site. This year we'll be doing it here at school, but they'll be completely off timetable, and that weekend will be spent for them getting to know each other really, really well and building relationships with each other. Lisa is going to talk a little bit more about the importance that we place on developing those positive and healthy relationships. In addition to the house teams that we have, as Howard said at the beginning, I work very, very closely with our medical team and our counselling team. The physical health of the children is clearly vitally important, and our medical centre, with a fully staffed team of 5 fabulous nurses, will look after the physical health of the children with us. Each boarding house, and the day houses, but each boarding house has its own named nurse who gets to know the 50 children in that boarding house really, really well and can be another go-to person for them. On top of that, we have a team of 5 counsellors who are offering that additional support should it be necessary. The team call themselves the Time to Talk team, and it's exactly that. They're fully integrated in the school. There is no stigma around going to see a counsellor, because it literally gives the young people with us that time to talk about anything that might be worrying them. I'm going to hand over to Lisa in a moment, but again, this is not what we say about ourselves, but the Good Schools Guide say that we have put an enormous amount of effort into our pastoral care, and we would hope that if we are lucky enough to have you visit us at any point, that you would say the same too. So I'm going to hand over to Lisa, and I will come back at the end of the presentation.
So in terms of relationships, we know that actually one of the key things in ensuring that people have good well-being is how connected they feel to other people, and therefore it's right at the centre of everything that rugby does, is that actually the relationships. We actually explicitly teach about how to have good relationships and about conflict, and particularly relationships with peers, but also with staff. So if we can have the next one, yes. So here we've got a lesson. The staff are all trained. We have highly enhanced kind of safeguarding. We have lots of inset for staff, and as the staff are in with the pupils in houses so much, actually the quality of the relationship that develops is really, really special. And our idea is that actually every child should have a network of people that they're able to talk to. We recognise that actually they will want to talk to, they will pick who they want to talk to, but our philosophy is to make sure that there are plenty of people, so housemaster, deputy housemaster, tutor, matron, counsellors, peer listeners. We have the older pupils are trained in how to listen well and how to help. They might have buddies in-house, they have family groups in-house. So it's a massive part of our ethos that actually the pupils feel supported and have people that they can talk to. So much so that actually this is our sort of our strapline, if you like. The whole person is the whole point. This is what Tatler's School Guide has said. And I'm going to go through some of the things that we have on offer, and many schools will have similar activities. So if you're visiting schools, do ask them what kind of things they're putting on, because actually that will give you a good idea of how every individual, how they can actually enhance and kind of stretch and challenge themselves in lots of different areas. So our philosophy is to try to stretch and challenge in a really supportive environment, so that actually the pupils and students actually discover that they are so much better than they think they are in many things. Now, obviously, Rugby School is well known for being the place where rugby football was invented, and so obviously rugby is very important. The boys will be introduced to rugby football if they haven't played it. People who haven't played it before find that actually they really enjoy it. They're really looking forward to coming back and actually sort of doing some rugby training with COVID's kind of restrictions. But rugby is not the only thing that we offer. We have a huge number of different sports. So we have hockey, boys hockey, girls hockey, sailing, fencing, cave pigeon shooting, athletics, cricket, loads of things. With the other things that we have, because we know that, well, with sport, we know that actually exercise really helps to improve stress relief and those sort of things. So actually all pupils will participate in sport, but as they get through the school, they get to choose which ones they want to specialise in. Music, this is our TSR, this is the orchestra playing, lots of different places that people can do music, recognising that actually, you know, music is a brilliant outlet for stress, and the kind of link between well-being and music is very, very well known. All pupils will actually participate in a house singing, which they love. It's the sing-off, we call it, which is really, they really, really enjoy that. Other activities that kind of help to enhance and bring out people's kind of passions, drama. We have a very full programme of drama that goes on with 2 major plays. We've got a house play event, which anybody can attend, kind of improvisation groups, Lambda exams. Again, kind of exposing pupils to things that they might not have done before and that actually they might really enjoy and discover that they've got aptitudes in. As well as that, we have what we call enrichment, and in the lower schools, or in the middle school rather, so in our years 9 and 10 and 11, this is sort of more prescriptive, but there's all sorts of different, so during the day we have a period of time on a Wednesday afternoon for the lower school where they do different types of activities. So this here is a creative writing group, but we also have sort of things to do with diseases. We have societies, we've got history societies, medical societies, engineering societies. There's a massive, I do encourage you to have a look at the calendars of the schools that you're looking at. Our calendar certainly would give you an idea of the kind of societies. Each week we probably have 3 or 4 different societies that pupils can go along to kind of open their horizons. Some might be political, so we might have speakers coming in to talk about politics or law, but sort of again, the whole person is the whole point. Chapel, so I'm the assistant chaplain, and actually my goddaughter is looking at coming, and she said, is rugby really religious? And I said, we're not religious in the sense that it's all about personal contemplation and personal kind of experience. We have a wonderful chapel. Mr. Horner is the chaplain, myself and Dan Shaw is the other assistant chaplain. We meet 3 times a week during the week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, and it's very short. It's about 20 minutes during the week, and the idea is to have a bit of time of quiet, to be thinking about the big questions in life. We do have the school has Christian values, but all faiths or none are welcomed. I would encourage you to ask the pupils what they think of chapel, and there will probably be some kind of chapel type thing in all the schools that you go to visit. We're actually, with COVID, we can't all meet together, and actually the pupils are really sad about that. They thought they would be cancelled together. We have managed to get 3 houses together, and they're very happy about that, although we can't sing. And at Rugby School, we like to sing. Rugby 360, this is our community action programme, and this is part of our Wednesday afternoon activities. And we think it's really important for students actually not just to be in a little bubble within school. So this is actually social services activity where pupils will go and visit people in old people's homes. Often that's the highlight of their life. My uncle is 94 and he has people going to visit him, and I can tell you that it really is important to him. There's social service music. We go into some sort of youth offenders institutions and do sort of drama. There's riding for the disabled. There's about 40 different activities that they can choose from to do when they get into the upper school, and they really enjoy that. So 360 kind of, it's, you know, looking around at the whole of the environment. We don't want to be inward looking but outward looking. And then challenge. At rugby and at many schools, the idea of actually sort of trying things that you've never done before and putting yourself in situations which are challenging and kind of test your resilience, you know, your adaptability, your flexibility, we think is really important. And as a result of that, we have lots of different trips that people can go on. This is a trip to Bolivia. So we have a big trip every 2 years where the pupils will go for 3 weeks. They'll be camping out for 3 weeks. It's pretty hard, but they grow, you know, it's wonderful. You see them go from teenagers into young adults. I happen to have been on quite a few of them. I've been to Peru, Nepal, Bolivia, Madagascar, and the change in them as they have more autonomy and actually are in an environment opening their eyes to the world is just fantastic. We have sports tours, we have more individual trips as well. So the idea is that actually we want students to be able to try as many things as possible, to challenge themselves. Sometimes sometimes things go wrong, but actually that's brilliant because they can learn from those to actually make them able to not just kind of survive at university and in later life, but to absolutely flourish and to thrive.
And just to finish, really, we're very aware that looking after your children is very much a partnership between us and you, and we hope that we look after our parents well as well. We expect that our international parents will all have guardians here at school, and many of the guardians, it's really, really important to make sure that you choose the right guardians for your children. But the guardians are a real support for the international students, because we appreciate that from your perspective, it's not always possible for you to come over for leave out weekends and exi out weekends, which we have. Wherever possible, we will involve you in everything that we do with your children. We've got a very well established now a series of parent education seminars, which we run at leave out weekends and half-term weekends, where parents who are able to be with us in person come, and we will deliver sessions around, for example, in a couple of weeks' time, Lisa and I will be delivering a session to the new parents about the settling in process, how it's been, introducing ourselves and what you can expect from the next 5 years. The joys of having learned how to do this type of technology so well in the last 6 months means that we are going to be able to record those sessions and actually to bring international parents in live into those sessions. There are many points of contact for you as parents, so the house would be your main point of contact. We encourage our house teams to engage with you in this sort of way, perhaps having your child sitting with me as their tutor so that we can have a conversation with you, the parents, so that you can check in on how they're actually doing. Obviously, you are very welcome to visit. Although we're a full boarding school, we very much encourage parents, when you are here, to come to chapel on Sundays, to take your child out for lunch. If you're flying in maybe just for a few days during the week on a business trip, we'd invite you to come to the school to connect up with the teachers, with the house team, and take your child out for supper. But it's very much a partnership, and we feel strongly that that is the best way to ensure that your child has the very best journey that they can possibly have while they're with us. I think, that's about perfect timing. So if there are any questions, Howard, then Lisa and I will be very willing to try and answer them.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Sally. Yes, I believe we have time. We have a few minutes for questions. So the first question our viewers have is, what are the main entry points for admissions at Rugby? And more specifically, how is the admission process look for a parent from Hong Kong that's interested in applying?
Yeah, okay. So the main admission points are at 13 plus and 16 plus. We do take into a year 10, but a very small number in year 10 if spaces become available. How would a parent from Hong Kong apply? Really, you would need to go to our website, to the admissions department, and to connect there. We do encourage, and again, those of you who were listening to what Jennifer said, we very much encourage you to come and visit the school in person. At the moment, we would be setting up this sort of virtual conversation, but we would encourage you to come and visit. We do expect that you will bring your child over for interview, to meet the housemaster, the house mistress, and to be interviewed in person. We also run admissions tests. So the admissions tests would be in English and in maths, and where possible, we would expect those to be sat here at school on the day that you come to visit and have your interview. At 16 plus, if you have a child who you think might be coming at 16 plus, then you need, for example, for September 2021, the admissions process will be taking place almost as we speak, with entrance exams being sat here at school in November. But again, if you are thinking of admission for 2021 or 2022, obviously with the COVID situation, things are slightly different. So I would encourage you to get onto the website, look at the admissions department, and be advised by them.
Thank you, Sally. And I believe we probably have time for one more question. So the next question is, we can see that sports is a big part of Rugby School. Now, does Rugby offer any scholarships for sports or in financial assistance or aid in general?
Yes, we do. Yes, so we have scholarships in pretty much every area of school life. So sports scholarships, academic scholarships, drama, music,
Design.
IT, design, art scholarships. And again, I think if you look on the admissions website, the scholarship information is there. But yes, absolutely. And we encourage applications. We give a lot of scholarships out, actually, where if the child is right and they are to the scholarship standard, we don't limit the number of scholarships that we award. We want the right children to come here to Rugby School.
Great, thank you. And thank you, Sally, and thank you, Lisa, for joining us today. We really appreciate all of the insights and information about Rugby School. Now, before I let you both go, do you have any parting words for our attendees today?
Yeah, I think my parting word would be that here at Rugby, we absolutely believe the whole person is the whole point. I think it's really important that when you visit a school, you find out, is it really full boarding? Because for you as international parents, that is crucial. Is it really full boarding? Is there a proper school community at the weekends? And how will you look after my child? Because we know that you are giving us your child to borrow, if you like, and it's very much a partnership. So you know, we are very appreciative of that. So find out what's really going on in school. That's crucial. Thank you, Wallace.
Thank you.
Lisa, any parting words?
I reiterate that.